Unconscious bias is a form of discrimination that occurs without conscious thought or intention. It is a phenomenon that occurs naturally in all humans, and is often rooted in our individual experiences. Unconscious bias can have a significant impact on hiring decisions, especially when hiring managers are unaware of their own biases. As such, it is important for organizations to implement unconscious bias training for hiring managers in order to ensure a fair and equitable hiring process. Unconscious bias training for hiring managers should focus on developing an awareness of the potential for bias in the hiring process and providing strategies to mitigate its effects. Hiring managers should be educated on the most common forms of unconscious bias, such as confirmation bias, stereotype bias, and affinity bias. Additionally, they should also be trained on the legal implications of discrimination and the importance of avoiding it, in order to ensure that hiring managers are properly trained on unconscious bias. Organizations should develop a comprehensive training program that includes both theoretical and practical components. The theoretical component should include an exploration of the various forms of unconscious bias and their potential implications in the hiring process. Additionally, it should provide a framework for recognizing and addressing bias in a manner that is compliant with legal regulations. The practical component should focus on providing hiring managers with the skills and tools necessary to identify and address unconscious bias in the hiring process. This might include the use of structured interviews, which help to create a level playing field for all candidates, as well as the utilization of blind resume reviews, which help to reduce the potential for bias. Additionally, hiring managers should be trained to use objective criteria when evaluating candidates, such as job qualifications and skills, rather than subjective criteria such as physical appearance or cultural background. Finally, organizations should ensure that unconscious bias training for hiring managers is ongoing and up to date. This includes providing regular refresher courses and offering resources for further learning. Additionally, organizations should develop a system of accountability to ensure that hiring managers are adhering to their unconscious bias training. This might include conducting regular audits or surveys to assess how well hiring managers are implementing the strategies they have learned. Unconscious bias training for hiring managers is essential for ensuring a fair and equitable hiring process. By educating hiring managers on the various forms of bias and providing them with the necessary tools to identify and address it, organizations can ensure that their hiring decisions are based solely on merit and not on any form of discrimination.